안녕하세요. Riding on the Korean wave. Welcome to Wednesday's edition of The Culture Wave. I'm Kwon-soa in Seoul. Explore with us Korea's culture from all aspects, and today with a focus on K-contents, K-travel, and K-exhibitions. And we'll do all of that with our co-host Walter Lee joining me in the studio. Hello, Walter.
Hello, Soa, and hello to all our viewers at home. Yes, I'm Walter Lee, and I have the latest in K-Enter news. That's K-Entertainment news just for you, so make sure you stick around.
And we're also joined by a new face here on the program, Arirang's News Features reporter Park Hyo-bin. Welcome aboard, Hyo-bin.
Hello, Hyo-bin.
Hello, Soa, and hello, Walter. And hello, everyone. My name is Park Hyo-bin, and I'm a news features reporter at Arirang News. I'm so excited to join the show starting from today, and I'll be bringing you the latest updates about K-culture in all aspects, so please stay tuned.
We're very excited to have you here on the show. Now, yesterday we talked about Squid Game 3 with expert So Jae-young, Professor So Jae-young, and we had an analysis about the drama. But today, Hyo-bin, you're going to take us straight to the scene. I heard you were actually in the Squid Game. So how is that possible?
That's right, Soa. Yesterday, I was inside the Squid Game, but no danger, no test, just fun. So Central Seoul has turned into a real-life set for Squid Game as part of the 2025 K-Content Seoul Travel Week. Let's take a look.
Tourists are stepping into Squid Game. They're not just watching the show. They're playing the games, walking the sets, and reliving scenes in the very heart of Seoul.
The festival was excellent, and I take part in this game, and I win it. So I got some prize. I really enjoy it.
You know, one day she just found the tickets, and we just said, hey, let's go. And we couldn't pass it up because it's such an iconic film from Netflix. And
Here at the Gwanghwamun Square, tourists are diving into the world of Squid Games as they're playing games that were featured in the series.
This interactive experience is part of the 2025 K-Content Seoul Travel Week, a collaborative event hosted by the city of Seoul and global streaming giant Netflix. Alongside the game zone, visitors can stop by the Seoul Spot travel booth, which features exhibitions from 10 Netflix K-dramas and travel guides to nearby filming locations and restaurants. Also drawing crowds is the Seoul Spot Dorsen Tour, a guided walk through real-life filming spots led by actors themselves. They visited several filming locations from Squid Game, including Tapgul Park and Jongak Station.
We had participants from so many countries, and some even understood the drama better than I did. But what impressed me most was their heartfelt love and passion for Korean culture.
The event, which runs till July 6th, kicked off with a bang last Saturday, featuring a massive Squid Game Season 3 finale celebration. Performers in the show's signature costumes marched from Gwanghwamun to Seoul Plaza, transforming the streets into a surreal K-drama parade. Fiction and reality blend together in the streets of Seoul, inviting fans not just to watch the story, but to step right into it.
Wow, that looked like a lot of fun. I mean, I remember during Squid Game 2, there were some other events. So I was at the express bus terminal for one of those events. But Gwanghwamun Square actually looks like a lot of fun, especially because it's outdoors.
Yes.
So Hyo-bin, tell us a little bit more about the atmosphere there.
Yes, so it was actually scorching hot yesterday. The temperatures were up to 33 degrees yesterday. And actually, despite the heat, the square was filled with laughter and excitement. So not just the locals, but people from all over the world joined in. And one fan actually told me that he even met director Hwang of Squid Game right there at site and even got a photo with him. So if you are planning to visit, I recommend not only playing the games, but also paying attention to the people around you.
I mean, what an honor to actually also meet the director as well while you're at this event. But it sounds so much fun, Hyo-bin. But by the way, while I was watching your report, I noticed a very familiar spot from Squid Game.
Nice catch, Walter. So as part of the Dorset tour, participants visited the Tapgol Park. So that's the place where Gong-Yu's character asked people to choose between some bread or a lottery ticket. And guess what? The tour recreated the moment. The participants were asked to choose as well and mostly picked the bread. It was really special for the fans to step into those real-life locations they'd only seen on the screen. And actor Nam Jong-woo, who served as a tour guide, shared a message for global fans. Let's take a listen.
Hi, my name is Nam Jong-woo. I'm an actor, and I really appreciate for your love and support for Korean dramas. As an actor, I will keep doing my best, and I promise I will be back with a great another drama. 감사합니다. Thank you.
Wow, being guided by an actor, that sounds like a lot of fun, but can people actually still participate in this tour and the whole festival? How can they do that?
Great question, Soa. So the event runs until July 6th, and the Joseon tour is open to foreign visitors only. So you can sign up on the official event website, and the tour is offered in multiple languages, including English. So if you're visiting Korea or already nearby, don't miss your chance to step into the world of K-dramas yourself.
So it looks like we still have a few days left. Walter?
And make sure, I might go this afternoon. I think I have some time.
Oh, good idea. Well, thank you very much, Hyobin, for that exciting coverage, and looking forward to many, many more.
Thank you, Hyobin.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
And now time for some K-entertainment news with Walter Lee. Walter, the Squid Game fever is probably gonna stay high for a moment, and you've got some additional news regarding Squid Game, the final season.
Yes, probably not as exciting as Hyobin's massive exhibition that he went on, but just as exciting, if I might say. Squid Game 3, Season 3, obviously, has made history, this time becoming the first Netflix title to top the global top 10 non-English chart in 93 countries within just 3 days of its release, being obviously Friday. We talked about this, amassing 60.1 million views. Now, Season 3 is already at number 9 on Netflix's all-time most popular non-English series list. With this, all 3 seasons of Squid Game now rank within the top 10 of Netflix's most watched non-English shows of all time. Now, obviously fueled by the buzz around the new season, Seasons 1 and 2 also made a strong comeback on the weekly global top 10 non-English chart, placing at number 6 and number 3 respectively.
Well, something tells me we're gonna talk about Squid Game for a while.
I think so.
And from one phenomenon to another phenomenon, let's talk BTS.
Yes, let's talk BTS, of course. BTS will be making a long-awaited return as a full group next spring with a brand new album followed by a world tour. Announcement was made during a Weverse live broadcast titled BTS is Back on Tuesday. This will mark their first group album and solo concert in 4 years since the release of their anthology album Proof and the yet to come to Busan concert in 2022. Now, during the live stream, RM shared starting in July will begin spending the time together and fully focus on making music, adding an album is set to be released next spring, definitely before July or August. Now, BTS are set to head to the US this month to begin recording and preparing for the tour, so we can't wait for that.
2025 really is the year of returns. I mean, not only BTS, but Blackpink. But now we're going to talk about someone for whom this year is the 25th debut anniversary. And here's a hint for our viewers. My name is Kwon So-ah, and her name is Kwon
Boa. Very good. I love that joke. K-pop legend Boa is set to celebrate the 25th anniversary of her debut with fans in both Korea and also Japan. SM Entertainment announced that Boa will hold her 5th solo concert on August 30th and 31st in Seoul. Boa made her debut on August 25th, 2000 at just the ripe age of 13 years old. And to celebrate, the artist will share this milestone with her fan club called Jumping Boa. This marks her first concert in about 10 months following last year's BoA Live Tour, BoA One's Own. Now, BoA is also continuing her activities in Japan on May 30th. On the anniversary of her Japanese debut, she released a self-written single titled Young and Free. She will also kick off a Japan tour this fall.
Well, congratulations to the star of Asia, or 아시아의 별, how she's also referred to. And there's one idol star who's been around longer than us, so I can say 언니 사랑해요.
Yes, indeed.
Well, thank you very much, Walter, for that, and stick around.
Will do.
And now it's time for Arirang's AI star Ari to shine. Ari, what culture news do you have for us today?
Hello and welcome to your AI guide to the latest cultural updates from Korea. Here's our top story. From Jeju's lava tubes to Gochang's dolmens and tidal flats, a cultural event showcasing Korea's UNESCO World Heritage Sites will kick off this week. The 2025 World Heritage Festival opened Thursday in Jeju, with events in Gyeongju, Suncheon, and Gochang, running through October. Now in its 6th year, the festival celebrates Korea's World Heritage through diverse hands-on programs and has drawn nearly 2 million participants to date. This year, a global delegation of 20 participants from 14 countries, including the US and Indonesia, will join as international ambassadors for the first time, promoting Korea's World Heritage to a global audience. The exhibition Art in Life, Life in Art, has returned with an expanded scope and deeper aesthetic sensibility, offering a richer look into the idea of living with art. Now open at the museum in Seoul, the show builds on the success of a similar exhibition last year, bringing together over 800 works. Highlights include iconic pieces by the father of video art, Baek Nam-jun, and leading American pop artist, Roy Lichtenstein, alongside selections from private collectors unveiled to the public for the first time. Blending works by world-renowned masters and rising talents, the exhibition invites visitors to explore how art can become part of everyday life. The show runs through February next year. All CGV theaters nationwide will close temporarily on July 14 for a system upgrade. The new, next-generation system aims to streamline movie ticket bookings and enable reservations for CGVs and theater facilities, like climbing gyms and comic cafes, through an updated mobile app. Security measures will also be enhanced to better protect customer information. Users will need to download the updated CGV app, available from 8 a.m. on July 15, to access the new system. That's all from me. Stay tuned to the Culture Wave.
A UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage, Korea's Jongmyo Jeryeak, the traditional music and dance performed at ceremonies to honor the spirits of the kings and queens of the Joseon dynasty, has been brought to life at an event in Indonesia's capital, Jakarta. Let's connect to Jakarta to hear about this perhaps unfamiliar yet deeply resonant experience that's unfolding there. We are now connected to Kyla Minerva Angelia at the Korean Cultural Center in Indonesia. Hello, Kyla.
Hello, Kyla.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Thanks for joining us on the program. So please introduce us to the Jongmyo Jeryeak exhibition that's currently running in Jakarta.
Right, so Jongmyo Jeryeak Sing for the Dynasty exhibition aims to showcase the beauty of Jongmyo Jeryeak, and it is supported by Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism Korea, Korean Foundation for International Cultural Exchange, and National Gugak Center as a part of Touring K-Arts program, where we promote various Korean culture in the form of exhibition and performances in Korean Cultural Center around the world. In this exhibition, not only do we showcase the clothes, the musical instruments, and the properties used by the performers, but we also provide several interactive activities such as ilmu simulation game, where visitors can practice the dances performed in the Jongmyo Jeryeak in person, and paper mobile making workshop with Jongmyo Jeryeak theme.
That's excellent, and thank you for introducing Korean culture to the Indonesian audiences. So, what kind of events and programs are being offered to the visitors, and how could they take part in those, and what were the locals impressed about the most? Example, was it the music, was it the rites, the costumes, or the clothing, etc.?
So apart from the previously mentioned ilmu simulation game and paper mobile making workshop, the visitors showed the most interest when I demonstrated how to play O and Chuk, which are two of the musical instruments played in the Jongmyo Jeryeak ceremony during the exhibition tour. And after the demonstration, I usually give the visitors a chance to play with the musical instruments themselves. And this way, it gives the visitors a chance for a hands-on experience of the instruments, and it made the tour way more colorful and memorable for them.
Well, those are some activities that even we here in Korea, in modern day Korean daily life, do not experience. So when preparing for the exhibition, was there anything that you paid special attention to so that really it works well with the local culture in Indonesia as well?
So prior to the opening ceremony of the exhibition, we collaborated with Jakarta National University's Performing Arts major to conduct a week-long workshop on Korean traditional culture. And during the workshop, the students had the opportunity to learn Korean traditional dance and gayagum. So after the workshop ended, they performed what they learned in the workshop on the exhibition opening day. And the audience, especially the VIP guests, were taken aback, especially when the students played an Indonesian song on Kayagum. And despite having only a short time to practice, the students delivered a very outstanding performance. Not only it was impressive, it was also a unique cultural performance that has never been done before. And we were glad that we were able to incorporate both Indonesian and Korean traditional elements into the performance, and that show that our culture can go hand in hand well together.
I mean, that really sounds like some harmony there. Now, Kyla, in a few days, on July 8th, the exhibition will come to a close. And I like the idea that there was sufficient time for visitors, to experience all of the different programs that you're offering there. But how has been the response so far on maybe local media or maybe even social media accounts?
So the opening ceremony of the exhibition actually received a lot of attention from local media. Several news outlets came to provide on-site coverage, and they also conducted interviews with the guests and charge d'affaires of Korean embassy. Beyond that initial coverage, we have been focusing on increasing in-person engagement by inviting university students for guided tours of the exhibition. And so far, we have welcomed a total of 100 students from 3 different universities, and all of them gave very positive remarks and showed a lot of enthusiasm during the visit. And additionally, we are also actively promoting the exhibition through our social media platforms by having a live online tour of the exhibition.
So I'm very aware that in Indonesia, K-pop, K-dramas, K-beauty products, they are very popular within Indonesia. We see a lot of Indonesian tourists here within Korea as well. But what interests me is what you mentioned before was that many of your participants were interested in the kayagum or like gugak or like other traditional instruments like the komungo or the jangu or etc. etc. Is there an interest in Korea's traditional culture in Indonesia?
Well, Korean wave content, especially the pop culture, is undeniably very loved in Indonesia. And K-pop and K-drama fan bases are continuously growing strong, especially among the younger generations. However, not many Indonesians are familiar with Korean traditional culture. For many Indonesians, their exposure to Korean traditional culture is limited to what they see in historical K-dramas or movies, which is why this is a great opportunity to introduce them to Korean culture in a more direct and immersed way. So we hope that this exhibition can be a stepping stone into knowing Korean traditional culture deeper.
That's quite interesting as well. And do you actually feel like there may be any similarities between, let's say, Korean culture and Indonesian culture as well?
Yes, I do feel like there are a lot of similarities between Indonesian and Korean culture. While preparing for this exhibition, actually, I've come to a realization that both countries value courtesy and respect for elders. And we chose to we also choose performing arts as a method to express our respect. And these art forms have evolved into cultural identities that reflect who we are, both as individuals and as members of our communities. And over time, they have been passed down through generations and preserved as a valuable cultural heritage, which we can still appreciate and celebrate until today.
It's great to have these common ways of how we respect the elderly in both Indonesia and Korea. Now, finally, Kyla, we want to ask you if there is any important message that you want to convey through this exhibition.
Yes, as much as this is a new experience for us, we are very honored to be able to host this exhibition this year and partake in introducing and promoting Jongmyo Jeryeak as a UNESCO intangible cultural heritage. We hope that this exhibition helps convey the significance of Jongmyo Jeryeak and raise awareness about this cultural value. And we certainly wish for more opportunities in the future to introduce other Korean traditional culture as well.
Kyla, just one more question, and just a very simple question. You are a very big part of this organization, and it's fantastic that you are, and thank you very much for, giving your time to, showing the Korean culture to the Indonesian people. I'm just curious, what got you into being so involved within the Korean culture? What was your sort of introduction to Korean culture?
For me personally, I think a lot of most K-pop fans in the world experience, I also got into Korean culture through K-pop at first, and then I started studying Korean language by myself. And then when it was time for me to apply for college, I decided to major in Korean language and culture because it is what attracted me the most. And I'm glad I chose that track because now I can be a part of this organization. I can take part in promoting Korean culture to Indonesian people, and I'm glad that I'm also taking part in introducing the beauty of Korean culture to Indonesian people as well.
Well, great. For many of us, or for many people abroad, it starts with K-pop and K-drama, and it's really great to see that now many people are even interested in the deep traditional aspects of the Korean culture. So thank you very much, Kyla, for introducing us to this exhibition and for spreading Korean culture in Indonesia. And also, as you mentioned, we can still watch some of the tours online on your social media until the event comes to an end. So we'll make sure to check that out as well.
Yes, thank you, Kyla.
Thank you again.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, Walter. As always, we're going to see you back here soon.
See you very soon.
Thank you for spending the past half an hour with us on the Culture Wave. And please join us again tomorrow on Thursday at 2 p.m. Korea time and maybe one day here in Korea.